Hey everybody, welcome to the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I am your host, Bobby. Today is February the 5th, 2016, and you are watching episode 12. Welcome back to all my loyal returning viewers. I missed you guys. And welcome to any new viewers who are checking out the podcast for the first time. I hope you enjoy the show, and thank you for giving me a chance. So I'm going to start the podcast off with kind of like an update and some housekeeping notes. Those of you that have watched my podcast for a while know that it's roughly been about a year and a half since I put out a video, and I'm going to explain the reason for my absence in just a moment. So I haven't posted in a while, and I do apologize that I haven't did an update video and explained the reason for my absence, but my frame of mind has not been very good, and this is really the first time that I've actually felt like I can get a video out there, and so yeah, I apologize for that. So it was October of 2014. My mom passed away, and I know a lot of you guys really loved her. She was a big part of this podcast. She was never in the podcast, she never came in the videos with me, but she was a big part of it. I started crocheting and knitting, I think it was about 7 years ago, maybe a little more than that, and my mom was a big influence behind that. I was looking for something at the time. I love being creative, and she said maybe you should start crocheting and knitting, and I was like, no, I can't do something like that. And she said, yes, you can, try it. And she taught me the basics, how to start crocheting, and I started to figure it out. And once I got the basic single crochet down, I was actually really enjoying it, and I went on to YouTube, and I found Michael Selleck from the Crochet Crowd, and I just started following his tutorials, how to do half double crochet, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm starting to get that down, and I remember I did a hat, and so it just really kicked off from there. But she was the reason behind it, and once I started getting good at this, and I started watching other podcasts on here, I showed them to her, and I was like, wow, look at this, there's a whole community out there of crocheters and knitters, and isn't this cool? And she said, Bobby, you should do that. And I said, no way, I'm not putting a video of myself on YouTube. And for those of you that know me, at the time I was very shy and reserved, and still kind of am, but anyway, Bobby, you posting a video on YouTube? No way, that was not going to happen. But she convinced me that you can do it, just try it, and you never know. And I am so glad that she did, because crocheting and knitting was a form of therapy for me. So I'm glad that she got me into doing that. And coming on to YouTube and doing these video podcasts, I met a lot of amazing friends through the crocheting and knitting community, and a lot of them are still very good, close friends to me today, and I am so glad that she pushed me into it. Well, she didn't push me, but she gave me a gentle nudge in this direction, and I am so glad that she did, because it really changed my life dramatically. And even though she wasn't in the videos, she was a part of it. I would sometimes I would turn the video on her and make her say hi or whatever, and I would show her works in progress and the objects that she had finished, and she really enjoyed that too. She loved hearing back from you guys, and you guys were an amazing support to both of us, so it was amazing, and I have her to thank for all of that. So my mom was a big part of this podcast, so when I lost her, I just couldn't fathom doing these videos. I couldn't even really pick up my knitting. I think it was a couple months after she died that I was actually able to pick up my needles for the first time and start knitting again. Me and my mom would do that together. Like every day we would sit down together and we would just knit or crochet. We would get whatever we had to do done for the day. We would sit down at the kitchen table and we would just start crafting. So when I lost her, it was really hard just to do that, because that's something that we did together, and she wasn't there anymore. So it was really hard. And as for the podcast, well, my state of mind when she died just was not there. It was like my world imploded around me. Even this past summer, I'm still dealing with issues of the loss of her. My mom was a big part of my life. She was my mom. She was my best friend. She was my primary caregiver as well. For those of you that may not realize that I'm in a wheelchair, so at the time, like, I've been this way for almost a little over 18 years, and I wasn't very independent at all. I wasn't doing much for myself. My mom was doing it all for me. And when she died, obviously some big changes had to be made, and I did get the support that I needed. Like, I was getting help, but the house that we were living in, I was living with my mom and dad, it was not wheelchair accessible. It was not made for wheelchairs at all, and there was no way I could live an independent life. So a couple months after she passed, I made the step to move out of there. And I'm not gonna go into a long story, but a year and a half later, I'm happy to say that I'm in my very own apartment now, my very first one, and I am living fully independent. I'm cooking for myself, I'm cleaning, I'm doing my own personal needs. A year and a half ago, I was not doing any of these things by myself, and now that I am. So it's amazing that in just a year and a half how much things can change. I also have an electric wheelchair now, so for the first time I'm able to get out there in the community, and I'm able to interact with people and go places, and it's just amazing. So yeah, so much can change. A lot of good has happened, a lot of good is happening, but also bad happened. And the bad of losing my mom made all this happen. I wish that she could be here along for the ride, but she's in a much better place now, and that's what I keep reminding myself. My mom had a tough life, she had a hard life, but she's in a better place, and that's what I keep reminding myself. My mom was only 59 years old. Her death was very sudden as well. Like, she was not sick. One morning, like the morning that she died, her and my dad had gone outside to cut the lawn, and she had did a little bit of it, and she complained of, like, she was short of breath, and me and my dad become quite alarmed by that, because my mom never complained of anything. So they didn't finish cutting the lawn. They came back in the house, and me and my dad were trying to convince her, like, maybe you should go to the hospital, because we knew it was serious. Like I said, my mom did not complain of such things, and you could tell, you know. But I think 20 minutes went by, and she just kept saying, no, I'm not going to the hospital, I'm fine, I just need to, like, sit and relax, I'll be okay. And finally she had gotten up from the table, and right behind our kitchen table was, like, where the cupboards were and the kitchen sink, and when she got up from the table to go to the sink, she collapsed. And I quickly called the paramedics. They came, and they brought her back twice, but en route to the hospital they lost her. And yeah, it was really hard. So yeah, a lot of big changes. It's not easy dealing with stuff like that, but it is what it is. That's life, and we gotta move on. So yeah, it's not easy, but that's what we have to do. So anyway, that's the reason for my absence all this time, and I have been knitting and crocheting and getting back into it, and for the first time in all this time, I finally feel that I can get back into doing the videos and interacting with everybody again. I missed you guys so much, so yeah, here we go. Here I am. So for the podcast, I'm not quite sure how it's going to work yet. I think I was doing a video every week, or maybe it was bi-weekly. I can't remember now. I'm not going to guarantee anything right now. I would love to put out a video every week, but I might not be able to do it. I might be able to do bi-weekly, like every other week. I've started training to do to get in the workforce, and I'm also taking steps to complete my grade 12 education, my GED. So in the very near future, I'm going to be starting classes for that. So things are going to get pretty busy for me, but knitting is still a very big part of my life, and I would love to share that with you guys. So I'm going to say every 2 weeks I'm going to put out a podcast, maybe on a Saturday. I think Saturdays would be the best day for me to record and get them out. But nothing's concrete. I'll pretty much, when I can record and get them out, I will. I would love to do every week, but like I said, we'll see what happens. So yeah, I guess now we'll get on into the show. I have some works in progress that I'm working on now. I have some finished objects, an update in spinning, and some stash enhancement. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off with works in progress. Right now I'm working on an order for a Bob Marley inspired hat. And I'm not following a pattern for this. I'm just going with it. Just let me pull it out of my bag here. For this project, I'm using my Knitter's Pride plantinas. I don't know if these are just the Novas or the plantinas, I forgot. They're the 16-inch set. So you can buy like the regular set with the regular sized interchangeables. These are the cables. I end up getting the 16-inch set. In the move, I lost a lot of my stuff. I wasn't able to bring it with me. So I had to order a new set of circulars, and I went with the Knitter's Pride this time. I was using Knit Picks before, but I had bought some individual Novas before, and I really enjoyed them. They're nickel plated, they got a beautiful sharp tip. I love them. So because I knit quite a bit of hats, I decided, well, if I'm going to invest in a set, I might as well get the 16-inch set. So what I did, the needles on a 16-inch set are a lot shorter than your regular size ones. So it came with, I think, 3 cords of 16-inch. So I individually bought, like separately, a 24, a 32, and a 40-inch, I believe, just so I could like work bigger stuff as well. So anyway, for this project, I'm using a US size 5, which is a 375 millimeter. And I'm just doing a basic slouchy hat. I've done a couple rows of 2x2 rib. Usually for my rib, I go 14 to 16 rows high, which roughly gives me about 2.5 to 3 inches. And then I'm just going to start the stripes. So for a Bob Marley hat, you're starting off with the black for the brim, and then you're going into, I think it's red, yellow, and green. So I'm just going to cut the striping up for a slouchy hat. So I started that. The black, I don't know which one that is. because it was already caked up in the stash that I was able to bring with me, but I don't have the label. Pretty sure, knowing me, that is Knit Picks Brava Worsted. It's just a basic black color. And to do the like the stripes, I've decided to go up, to use Loops and Threads, which is a brand that Michaels carries. It's their brand, I believe. For the red color, I'm using their Impeccable Brights, and this color is Red Hot, which is a nice hot red. And I'm going to apologize because my lighting is not showing these true to color at all. This is showing up kind of pinky, and it's not, it's a bright red. So that's Red Hot. And the yellow is also Loops and Threads Impeccable Brights, and this color is in Sunny Day, and that's looking like a really vibrant yellow, but in person it's more like a sunshine gold color. It's very pretty. And the green is also just Loops and Threads Impeccable, and it's in the Kelly green color. And again, that's not showing true color. But anyway, that's what I'm making. That's just going to be a basic slouch. I cast it on 96 stitches, and I'm going to be going up to a size 4.5 to do the body of a hat. So that's not pattern, that's just something I'm doing, like making up as I go. The next thing that I casted on is the Gramps cardigan by Kate Oates. I'm just going to pull up a picture of the pattern here. I bought this pattern, I think, I don't know, 2 summers ago. It was right after it had gotten released anyway, and I really, really love the cardigan. It's a toddler to 2-year size cardigan, and it's got this beautiful cabling down the arms and the front panels, and in the back it's like a 6x1 rib, I think. Very gorgeous sweater, and here it is. Oops, okay, there we go. I hope you guys can see that even just a little bit. It's a very, very gorgeous cardigan, and it's also quite popular. I know a lot of people have knit this cardigan. Very gorgeous. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I'm kind of picky about my yarn. I never had one in my stash, which is unbelievable. My stash was so big, but I didn't have one that I was satisfied with. But a couple weeks ago, I had gone to Michaels and I bought some yarn to knit myself a winter hat, and I absolutely love this yarn. It's Lion brand Heartland. It's a worsted, and oh my god, guys, this yarn is so soft and lofty, and oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. What's the colorway? This colorway is 109 Olympic, which is a beautiful blue color. It's not that bright in person, but it is so gorgeous. It's not a solid, it's like a semi-solid, and for me, I love semi-solid colors. They're so gorgeous. So if you haven't tried this, you need to try it. I'm somewhat of a yarn snob. I like working with acrylics that are like premium, that are really soft. I don't like the scratchy stuff. So this one really impressed me. I really love this stuff. And here's what I have so far of the cardigan. I just cast it on the bottom ribbing. It's worked from bottom up, and I did the 2x2 rib, and I think I started like the setup row for the cabling. So now I can start working up and do the beautiful cable section. So I casted that on, I think it was last week, but I've been doing a couple things in between, so I haven't been able to show it much attention, but hopefully this week coming I'll be able to work a little bit more on that. So this is not for an order, it's just kind of like pleasure knitting, so kind of just working on it when I'm not doing anything for an order, and yeah, it's just an enjoyable knit. So that's all I'm working on for works in progress right now. I do have some things that I would like to cast on for pleasure as well as orders, so I think I will touch on some of those when I get into stash enhancement, because the yarn for those projects are newly acquired, so I'll wait and show you guys that in a minute. For finished objects, I have a couple things. I'll probably start off with this one here, my hat. It's using the same yarn that I just showed you guys, the Lion Brand Heartland in the Olympic colorway. And I did this hat before. You guys might remember it. It was done in a gray color with Knit Pick Swish. And it's just this beautiful cabled slouch hat. And this time I actually did the pattern right. For those of you that remember me doing this hat before, I had done the bottom ribbing wrong. So the bottom of this hat is not done in ribbing at all. It's done with a mock cable. And when I had done the hat the first time, the pattern is written as well as charted, and I was reading the written pattern, but just the way that it was worded, for some reason I didn't get it, like I wasn't understanding it. So what ended up happening was I ended up doing, instead of mock cables, I ended up doing this big cable all the way around, which one other person on Rivalry actually made the same mistake as I did. I didn't realize it until I got like halfway up the hat, and I was like, okay, that's not what it's supposed to look like. But I was gonna rip it all back out. My mom said, no, you're not touching that. It's fine, Bobby, just leave it. So I didn't correct it. I agreed with her. I said, yeah, it's for us anyway, I don't care. But this time I made sure I read the pattern right, and I got the mock cables. So yeah, it's really nice, really warm, and I love it. So that's one finished object. Let me see, what else do I have? Just gonna check my show notes here. The other one I have is a pretty large one. I had gotten an order for a baby blanket, and originally I had wanted to knit this blanket. Not this particular blanket, but I mean the blanket. I had casted it on I think a month or 2 months before Christmas, and it was this beautiful pattern by Jared Flood. I can't remember what the name of the pattern is, but it's this beautiful knitted baby's Afghan, and it's got the mock cable, and then it's got the fan and feathers lace patterning. Gorgeous blanket. But I was doing it, I had like that much of it done, but through the move and everything, I wasn't putting that much time into it, and I needed to get this order finished. So I was getting to the point where I was stress knitting it. I was getting so stressed out, well, it's been taking me this long, I need to get it finished. So I just decided, okay, well, I'm not going to stress about it anymore, and I decided to rip it out and crochet the blanket instead. So I have done this pattern once before, but this was like back when I first started crocheting though. This is the Cream Puff Afghan by Tracy BB on YouTube. It's a free pattern, and I hope you guys can see this very well. I can't see the camera, but it's this beautiful, it's a moss stitch in crochet, and I just knit the body of it. I cast it on 89 stitches. It's done, I think it's multiples of 3 stitches, so you can do a baby size, you can do a twin size, double, whatever you want to do. You just have to do multiples of 3. It's a great tutorial, and she also gives you the tutorial how to work the ribbon band here, so you can put the ribbon in if you so choose, or she also has a tutorial how you can do these beautiful rows of lace. So I highly recommend you guys check her out. She's got some other really nice tutorials on there as well. So that's what I did. I used Loops and Threads Snuggly Wuggly, which is a sport weight baby yarn from Michaels, and I used the aqua colorway, and I held it double strand. She used worsted weight and she held it double strand, and it just makes a real like squishy warm blanket. So for me, I had 2 balls of this in my stash, so I decided it wasn't worsted, but still it's sport weight, so I just held them double, and I did the main body of the blanket as well as the lace panel, the lace border held double as well. So yeah, it turned out very beautiful. The recipient loves it, so I'm very happy. She's actually ordered another one, so that's a future order I will be working on. This time I'm going to do it in yellow. I have 2 balls of yellow in my stash. They're brunette though, but they're sport weight, so I'm going to repeat the same process again. So watch for that soon. That's all I have to show you. I did have a pair of socks that I finished. I had started a pair of pinstripe socks before my mom had passed. They might even be in my last episode video. I can't quite remember, but it was in a self-striping yarn. It was like a hot pink and black stripe, and they were Afterthought heel socks, and it was a pinstripe pattern. The pattern, I believe, was a free pattern off of Rivalry. And let me see. The pattern was the Pinstripe Socks by Julia Swart, and it was a free pattern off of Rivalry. And yeah, I had started those, and I completed the first sock. I had that done, and I was very fortunate. I have a bag of knitting, like works in progress that I was working on, and I managed to get those in the move, so those socks were one of them, and I was very grateful because the yarn that I had bought, the self-striping, I was trying to get my mom to start knitting socks. She just loved hand-knitted socks. All the socks, hand-knitted socks that I showed you guys that I had knitted, they were for her. She loved them, and I always said that she should try them, and she said, I can't do that. And I said, yes, you can. So I bought her the self-striping yarn, and I was trying to get her to do it, but she didn't want to. She just liked doing her own thing, which is totally fine, but she really wanted those socks. And so I said, okay, I'm going to knit them for you. And I had casted them on, and I had like half the sock done. And just going to share a really nice story with you guys. In September, the September before she died, it was mid-September, and it was her mom's birthday, and her mom lives in another province from us, and my great uncle and his wife had brought her up for her birthday. And that was the first time my mom and her mom got to see each other in like 7 years. So it was very special. It was quite the miracle. because 2 weeks later my mom had passed, and actually 2 days before my mom passed, it was my mom's birthday. So just how all that happened was quite amazing. It was a miracle that they got to see each other. And but anyway, when they had come up, my great aunt had saw the socks that I was working on, and she really loved them. She was quite intrigued by the self-striping yarn and how you could like continually knit, and it did the stripes itself. Like you didn't have to add the color in, second color in. So she was quite intrigued by them, and she really loved them. She loved the patterning. And after they had left, my mom said, I know that I really love that yarn and I wanted those socks for myself, but she said, I want you to finish them and we're going to give them to her as a thank you for making that trip happen. So I said, okay, I will do that. And yeah, I wasn't able to touch that project or the works in progresses that I had going before. So last week, I finally decided that it was right time to get this done. So I picked them up and I started them, and I got the second sock finished and I presented them to her and she loved them. So yeah, I got that done. I forgot to take a picture of them, and yeah, I don't have them to show, but there was a pair of socks in there too. That's it for finished objects. I guess I will now go on to a spinning update. I don't have no spinning to show you, and I probably won't for a little bit. I had my Heavenly Hand Spinning e-spinner, as you guys know. I do have it with me. It did come with me in the move, but unfortunately the bobbins as well as the foot pedal, that one's ran by like a sewing machine pedal, that was left behind. It didn't come with me. So I have the main machine, but I don't have the parts to operate it. And because Heavenly Hand Spinning is like a private company in Georgia, so if you were to order these parts for it, like you can go onto what's it called, the Woolery. They sell the bobbins and the machine, like mine's the Vespera, but they don't like sell the pedal. So I have to like go right through Heavenly Hand Spinning, and it's going to cost me almost $200 just to get a new set of bobbins and get the pedal back. I can't do that right now. That's not in my budget. So spinning is temporarily on hold. I did have a Turkish spindle, and I think it was a top whirl spindle, but I don't have those with me. So I'm kind of contemplating if I want to buy another spindle, or I would really like to try the Mother Miriam, or there's the little Maggie as well. They're kick spindles. They sit on like the floor and you like kick them and it just like whirls the spindle. I think I kind of want to try that. They're roughly about $100, but somebody local to me has one that's for like $45. So kind of keeping my fingers crossed that I can get a hold of that one. But those are just things that I'm thinking of for the future that I would like to get to continue my spinning, because I absolutely love spinning. And I got 12 ounces of Rambouillet. It's undyed that I'm just dying to get spinning on. And I also bought some more roving in my stash enhancement that I'm going to show. So I would like to get back into spinning, but maybe by next month I'll figure out what I want to do, and I'll have some of that to share with you guys. So that's the update for spinning. Sewing, I haven't been doing that. I have a sewing machine with me. My great aunt had very nicely gotten me one. It's an antique Singer. It's very gorgeous. I just haven't been into sewing. My knitting is like my main thing that I'm doing right now, and between orders and my life, I just can't fit another hobby in right now. So I think for the near future, I'm not going to be doing the sewing episode anymore, just because it's not something I'm doing. But if I do something, then I'll just randomly throw it in the video and show you guys. So yeah, that's it for that part. I guess now I'll go into what I did this week. Stash enhancement. I needed a couple things. I've been slowly building my collection back up, more in like tools, not yarn. I have a great big plastic container that is full of yarn from my stash from home, so I do have quite a bit of it. So I kind of haven't been buying too much yarn. The orders that I've been having, if I don't have the color or the appropriate yarn that I need, then I'm going out and I'm getting the yarn for it. But I haven't been buying yarn just for the sake of buying yarn. So this past week I wanted some sock blockers. Socks are something that I still knit quite a bit of, and I like putting them on the blockers for show, like to take pictures, but also to block the socks out, especially if you're working lace or cable. So I went to my local yarn store, and I got a set of the wire sock blockers. I had the plastic ones before and I loved them, but I really love these ones. These are the Bry spun stainless steel blockers, and I got the medium size. I really love these. These are, in my opinion, a lot nicer than the plastic ones. So got those, really love them. Can't wait to use them for the first time. I also picked up a skein of yarn. I have an order that I need to knit up for socks, and I decided, I had originally bought yarn from Michael's to do these socks. It was I can't remember the name of the yarn, but it was a really nice acrylic. I wanted to go with a semi-solid again because I really love them, and it's the Roger sock pattern. And for those of you that have watched my podcast for a while, you'll know that I've knitted 2 or 3 pairs of these socks. They're my go-to pattern for men's socks. They're done in a sport weight, and it looks like a cable. It looks like cabling, but it's really not. I do believe this is a free pattern on Ravelry. Don't quote me. But it's the Roger sock pattern by Sarah Grisbeck. I don't know, I can't pronounce that correctly, but it's the Roger socks, and you can find it on Ravelry. And it looks like cabling, but like I said, it's really not. It's just done by a series of knit stitches and purl stitches. But when it's done, it looks like you've done this beautiful fancy cable. So that's what I'm going to do for this order. And for the yarn, like I said, I had bought some yarn. It was a semi-solid. It was gray, not gray, browns, beiges, very pretty. But again, Bobby being a yarn critic, I started knitting these socks up, and it was really stretchy. And that's a good thing, I know, but I also know that being acrylic, especially in socks, if you were to wear these a couple times, and I have a pair, they stretch out a lot. And just for me, personal preference, if I'm gonna put the time into knitting socks, I like using a superwash merino with nylon in it. That's just my personal preference. So I went to the local yarn store, and I picked up tree wool It's 70% superfine merino and 30% tencel. And it's actually hand dyed by a Canadian company in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's absolutely gorgeous. The colorway, actually I don't see a colorway name here. No, there's no colorway name. But anyway, it's these beautiful green colors. It's kind of like a foresty green and goes into a couple lighter shades. Absolutely stunning and gorgeous. And because of the tencel, it's kind of got a little bit of a sheen to it. Very, very pretty. Very soft, very squishy as well. So I'm looking forward to starting those and seeing how they turn out. I think it's going to be really great. I think to knit the Rogers socks, because of the cabling, a semi-solid is like perfect for it, because it's going to give you a pop of color, but it's also not going to be so distracting that it's going to take away from the patterning. So that's that one. I can't wait to do those. The next stash enhancement that I got, I've been wanting to cast on a shawl, and this is just for pleasure knitting. They had Madeline Tosh, and if you know me, I love Madeline Tosh, and I got a skein of their Tosh Merino Light, which is 100% superwash merino wool. It's a fingering, 420 yards, and it's in the Spectrum colorway. I'm just gonna set this down. So you guys cannot tell how gorgeous this is because of the lighting, but if it really reminds me of like Northern Lights. It's got this beautiful, beautiful blue, and it's got purples and a little bit of teal green, and just absolutely stunning. And because it's the Tosh Light, it's like a single ply. So I'm really looking forward to casting on a shawl with this and seeing how it's going to turn out. Not 100% sure which shawl I'm going to knit it with yet. Sorry, I can't talk. I really love the shawls from Judy Marples. She has some really gorgeous ones. And I remember I had bought one of her patterns, actually a couple of her patterns, in the summer of 2014, and the one I had actually started, it was in my last episode, it was the Dover shawl, and there was that one, but there was another one, the Santino shawl, also by Judy Marples, and it's an absolutely stunning shawl, and I hope you guys can kind of see that there. Very, very pretty. And I had bought in the pattern, and it's done with charts, and I've worked more with written instructions than I have with charts. I'm a lot more skilled now with charts than I used to be. I haven't been so afraid to like try them, so I do understand them a lot better, and I can actually work from them. But I remember I had casted on this shawl, and I got onto like the fourth row of it, and I couldn't figure out like what I was doing wrong. I knew I was doing something wrong because it wasn't working out, but I wasn't successful in it, so I ripped it back out and I never touched it again. But I think that's the shawl that I'm going to use the Spectrum with and see if I can do that. So yeah. That was a treat for myself to get myself some Madeline Tosh because I loved it. And then the third thing that I ended up buying, and I couldn't resist this, was some Malabrigo roving. This is in the Noob Cup, or hang on a minute. It's Malabrigo Noob, which is their, what they call their top roving. And it's 100% pure merino wool, 4 ounces, and I got it in the 856 Azules colorway. and it's just these beautiful purples and teals, and yeah, just purples and teals. Very, very gorgeous. And that looks like it's blue, but it's not. Sorry about that, guys. Maybe next time I'll try recording through the day to see how my lighting works. But anyway, that was another treat to myself. I really have always wanted to try the Malabrigo roving, because for 4 ounces they have like some of the cheap, like they're a cheaper brand for it, but they also have some very gorgeous colorways. So when I saw she had a couple of these in her shop, I just couldn't leave without one. So yes, look forward to spinning that up. So yeah, that's my stash enhancement. I end up buying like a ruler that has like the 2-sided ruler, but it's got also the holes that you can put your needles in to see what size they are. I never really used the ruler. I'm not one to really knit gauge, but I wanted it for the needle sizes. My Knitter's Pride carbons, my DPNs, they print the size on them, and because I've used them a lot, the name, like the sizing has like faded off, and I don't know what size they are. I'm pretty sure they're 2.5s, but I also had 2.25s. So I have a couple DPNs that I have that I don't know what size they are, so I bought that just for the sizing, and I bought myself some stainless steel tapestry needles. So that was my stash enhancement. Like I said, I'm not going crazy with the stash like I used to. I must say that my stash before was really huge. We had like 4 big containers. We had a smaller container that housed like scraps, and also a dresser in my bedroom. It was 4 drawers high, 5 drawers high. The top drawer would like have notions and our knitting books, but the other 4 drawers, 4 drawers, were like full of yarn. So that's bad, but I don't have that crazy stash anymore. But I'm gonna try not to do that again. Kind of right now I'm just knitting from the stash that I was able to bring with me, and if I do make a purchase of yarn, I'm trying to be more smarter with it. So if I see something like the Madeline Tosh, I will treat myself and I'll buy it. But I'm trying to be a lot better than I was before. For one, I really don't have the budget for it right now, but I want to buy the yarn for a project that I'm knitting, because I also want to be a more monogamous knitter. If you guys know me at all, you know that I used to have maybe 10 projects on the go at once, and that was absolutely crazy. It's good, and I still like watch the knitting podcast, and I see new shiny things, and it's like, oh, I want to cast you on, but I'm trying not to give in to that temptation. I'm not going on to Ravelry as much either, because that's a huge enabler. So yeah, I want to try to be more monogamous with my knitting as well, because I would have 10 projects on the go, and I was hardly getting anything done, because you start one thing and then you see something new and you're jumping to that, you cast that on, but you're never really finishing anything, or at least not very quickly. So as far as this past year is concerned, that I have been really getting back into my knitting, I must say that I have been pretty good. I've been more monogamous. I only have maybe 2 things on the go at once, and I'm getting them finished in a lot faster time, and yeah. So I'm gonna try to be better that way, be a little bit more smarter with my knitting. So anyways, I've been talking for 49 minutes. Wow, okay, I'm gonna cut this short now. So like I said, I'm gonna try to get out a video every week, but if I can't, every 2 weeks. Probably be on Saturdays. Like I said, through the week I'm pretty busy. My schedule's pretty full, so maybe I'll record like on a Friday night and get it up Saturday, or just do it all on Saturday. I don't know yet. So yeah, you can find show notes on my website. I still have my website up. It's sweetcomfortdesigns.com. You can find me on Rivalry as X Country Girl 1986X. Just let me check that for a minute. You can tell how much I've gone on to Rivalry. I forgot my username. Yes, X Country Girl 1986X. That's how you can find me on Rivalry. Instagram, I have a personal Instagram, and I don't really want to open that up to the public. What I might do is I might set up a separate Instagram where I'll just like post pictures of what I'm working on, or what I finished, or I just might keep them reserved to my website. Usually what I was doing before is I would like take pictures of what I had finished and just post them with the show notes. So I think I might do that for the time being anyway, until I figure out something else. Facebook, Sweet Comfort Designs is still on Facebook, although I haven't been checking into it at all, and I don't think I will be for the time being. My Etsy store either, that I took down. Obviously I'm not doing anything with that for the time being anyway. So yeah, you can join me on Rivalry. Please go ahead and do. I will friend you. I would love to talk to you guys, and that's totally okay. Yeah, check out the website, Sweet Comfort Designs, for the show notes. I will list all the works in progress, my finished objects, as well as where you can find the pattern, like who the pattern was made by. Last time I was having problems putting links. I was trying to link it right to Ravelry, but for some reason I wasn't able to get the links in there. But I'll still write it out anyway, and you can always go over to my Rivalry and find my projects in my projects page anyway, and it'll just link you directly to it. So yeah, that's that. I'm really glad to be back, and I hope you all have been doing well. I hope you guys have a great week, and you're productive with your knitting, you're enjoying it, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I love you guys. Bye.